Whoa, whoa, whoa. Squeaky Mike. It would seem Keanu Reeves, he's making a comic book. We got the Renaissance. People like Keanu Reeves. He's Hollywood's likable man, and he's partnered up with Boom Studios to make a comic book, BRZRKR. It looks like fun, right? It doesn't look massively compelling, but it looks like fun, and anyone who wants it, fill your boots. Absolutely fill your boots. But it seems to be completely under fire. Why? Because Boom Studios and Keanu Reeves have opted to go the Kickstarter route. Now, a lot of people have a problem with that, it seems. Massively. A lot of people have a huge problem with that. I would say they're massively just butthurt, to be perfectly honest. One of the benefits of crowdfunding, especially with a Kickstarter project, one would assume, is that they're doing pre-sales of the comic book. So what's the issue? People have bought it. I'm really, really baffled by this. So anyway, let's dive into it. This article is linked down below in the description box, and it's concise. It's a pretty good article. The recent announcement of a Kickstarter campaign for Boom Studios and actor Keanu Reeves' new comic book series BRZRKR has sparked an outcry among some comic book professionals. They're really, really salty. Are you hydrated? Because there's going to be a lot of salt in this video. They believe the use of crowdfunding platform is both detrimental to the health of the industry and insulting to creators. I mean, God help people do pre-sales. I'm going to be doing pre-sales for my movie on the Blu-ray, right? You know, it's going to be available anyway, but hey, look, if you want a Blu-ray, Kickstarter's a great way to do pre-sales for that. Where's the harm? What's the issue? You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to tap into it. Why are you bitching about it? Why are you crying about it like a little pansy? Are you just eternally oppressed, apparently, by now Kickstarter? Like, for God's sake. Described as a brutally violent new series about one immortal warrior's fight through the ages, Boom Studios and Reeves announced the Kickstarter for BRZRKR, the first comic book and graphic novel series from the iconic Keanu Reeves, on September 1st, and it smashed its Kickstarter goal. Of course it was going to. The man, known only as BRZRKR, is half mortal and half god, cursed and compelled to violence, even at the sacrifice of his sanity. But after wandering the world for centuries, BRZRKR may have finally found a refuge, working for the US government to fight the battles too violent and too dangerous for anyone else. In exchange, BRZRKR will be granted the one thing he desires, the truth about his endless blood-soaked existence and how to end it. It sounds fine. Like, yeah, sure. You know, it sounds like a return to ultra-violence and non-PC crap. It sounds like a good laugh, to be honest. Alongside Reeves, the series production team will include writer Matt Kindt, who did Ninjak and Exo Manowar, so you know it's going to be like pretty up there. Artist Ron Garney, again, who worked on Uncanny X-Force, The Amazing Spider-Man, and colorist Bill Crabtree, who did BRPD and letter Clem Robins of Y the Last Man. Now, that's good, right? I did a video recently, yesterday, about how, you know, a comic book artist who was a comic book artist for Dark Horse Comics, who now has essentially lost his job at Dark Horse because he did alien stuff, right? Among other things, but he's fantastic at alien stuff. Lost his job because Disney took the license from Dark Horse, gave it to Marvel, and Marvel paid someone, Greg Land, who ripped off this artist's work. And Greg Land ripped off this artist's work on the brand new release of an Alien Omnibus. So I am all for Kickstarters that are still going to be paying people that are actually going to do the work. You want to bitch and moan and you want to complain about something. Why are you complaining about Kickstarter? You're complaining about a service that people are paying for. They've chosen to do it. They're fine. It's not a rip-off. It doesn't matter if Boom Studios can pay for it. Who cares? Who cares? Oh, you do. Because apparently you're a little pansy. Anyway, as of writing, the Kickstarter campaign has raised $373,000, greatly surpassing its original 500 grand goal. And here's what everyone's getting their panties in a twist about. However, in light of the book's crowdfunding successes, some members of the comic book industry have taken issue with Boom Studios' decision to use the Kickstarter platform for the series. Again, God help people do pre-sales, that's literally all it is. Particularly due to the studio's alleged history of underpaying its employees. But you sign up for that. When you enter into... Like, I've been underpaid in my life, and it sucks. But you know what you do? You move on. It sucks. You move on. You have to do it sometimes, but you move on. It's just life. Gail Galligan, best known for her graphic novel adaptations of the Babysitters Club books, found herself absolutely cackling at the idea of a major comic book publisher, which has deals with Netflix and Universal, hopping onto Kickstarter to fund their Keanu Reeves written comic book. I don't understand why. I do need you to know that I am absolutely cackling at the idea of a major comic book publisher which has deals with blah blah blah, and for some reason page rate increases aren't in the stretch goals. I think that's a good thing, because otherwise you're just stretching out the story. I think that's a really good thing. It literally just sounds like they're doing pre-sales to me. Giant Days Inca, Liz Fleming, stated she was furious about the campaign, as she claimed that Boom Studios paid her a rate of $20 per inked page during her run on the series, and now they don't even want to pay for their own publications. Salt, salt, salt. Nom, 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 nom. I'm so furious. 4 years I spent doing everything you could imagine under the sun comics-wise for that company, making raisins, and now they don't even want to pay for their own publications. The calculation. I'm disgusted. Former She-Ra and the Princess of Power animator Kate Farina said, "How is using a platform meant for people to kickstart projects they can't afford okay for a company who admits they don't need the money?" Well, because if I mean, ladies and gents, if it so happens to be pre-sales, I really don't see the issue with it. So let's have a look, right? Let's move over here. Let's have a look. Pledge without a reward. $50 or more. Well, there you go. You're getting stuff, aren't you? So $10, you're just pledging, right? Back it because you believe in it. Perfectly reasonable. This one, you get Volume 1 graphic novel, you get Volume 2 graphic novel, and you get Volume 3 graphic novel. Each graphic novel is a full colour, page soft cover. Each graphic novel will ship individually as it is completed and released. Are these people insane? They're annoyed that people are doing pre-sales. I thought as much. Yes, they are insane. They are absolutely mental. And again, this is all very, very standard stuff. What's the issue here? What's the issue? What is wrong with these plebs? Absolute idiots. So anyway, you know, this is how it is. People are just getting inherently butthurt about nothing. I don't know about y'all, but I would really like an answer here. How is using a platform meant for people to kickstart projects they can't afford okay for a company who admits they don't need the money? I can only assume it's to pay their asses living wages in the future. Or it's the fact that they're doing pre-sales? Why is this a hard thing to comprehend? You ain't helping anyone by bringing on diverse creators for the clout and burning them to ash. And frankly, I think we're all pretty exhausted by it. $350k in one day for a project they knew would succeed and didn't need the money for. It's pre-sales. The only one on the pledging is $10. If they were using GoFundMe, then you'd have an argument. I have a GoFundMe, funnily enough, actually, for my next film project. I'll leave a link down below. I've not spoken about it much, but it's a Lovecraft film. Now, the difference between Kickstarter and GoFundMe is just give money. Right? Here's a project I want to do, give money. You're giving off the back of just kindness, right? Because you want something to be created. Kickstarter, they have tiers. It's like Patreon. Kickstarter, you're getting something for it, generally speaking, by and large, and that's exactly the way that they're setting it all up with this. What is wrong with people? What's the issue? It's not despicable. They're doing pre-sales, and if you were smart enough, Katie, you'd do that as well, but apparently you're not. I'm just so heartbroken by my experiences in the comic book industry, and that is 100% because of Boom. I'm extremely lucky I managed to jump ship into animation, otherwise I might still be trapped in a tenement apartment cranking out 22 pages in 2 weeks for maybe $1,000. And look, the CEO came out and said, yeah, they've got the money for it, but basically it's about eyes, right? And the thing that Kickstarter has is a one-click. People have heard of it, so I don't have to teach you what it is, and it's one click. The 3 volumes as a complete story, as a way to prevent reader drop-off, and why you want to do that with a newbie is people sell a movie to you, and it's the whole thing. You don't get halfway through and they stop it and go home, or go back to the box office and pay for another ticket and get the rest. Click once on it and I get sent and forget it, and then it just becomes... That makes perfect sense. He's basically saying it's pre-orders, we want people to buy it all in one go. There you go. I really don't see what the issue is here. But woe is me, apparently. You know, like, cry about something else. Cry about Greg Land ripping people off left, right and centre. You know, cry about that. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. My earlier video about Star Trek is demonetized, even though it was, you know, actually in favour of the whole thing. It was just trying to say that, whatever, YouTube, support on Patreon if you like the videos, because they keep getting demonetized. But anyway, thanks so much. Take care.